Hi class. In this video we're going to look at a couple of examples from your Chapter 11 homework. So we're still working on payroll, and this says the payroll register of Big House Cleaning Company showed total employee earnings of $3,600 for the payroll period ended July 14th, 2019. It says compute the employer's payroll taxes for the period. We've got 6.2% for Social Security, 1.45% for Medicare, 0.6% for FUTA, which is federal unemployment tax, and 5.4% for SUTA, which is state unemployment tax. And it says all earnings are taxable, which means nobody's hit any kind of threshold and doesn't have to pay taxes. So that makes it a little bit easier. So this says prepare a journal entry to record the employer's payroll taxes for the period. So in this chapter, we're looking at taxes that the employer is responsible for. So in this particular problem, we've got Social Security and Medicare, and you already know that employees pay Social Security and Medicare. What the employees pay, the employer matches. So the employer is also responsible for Social Security and Medicare. And then we have the unemployment taxes, both federal and state, and the employee does not pay unemployment taxes. The employer does. So that's what we're working on here. All right, so this is compute the employer's payroll taxes for the period. And we've got a column that says base, rate, and amount. So Social Security was 6.2%, Medicare was 1.45%, federal employment was 0.6%, and 5.4% for state unemployment. So all of those amounts came from here or up here, either place you can get them from. So we've got $3,600 in gross earnings. I don't know if they're asking for the amount of the earnings or the base. Let's see. Just try something. Sometimes you get it's trial and error. Well, yeah, that's what it says. So the base amount is the amount that's taxable. And it said everything is taxable, so it should be $3,600 in all of these boxes. And it's calculated it for us, so that should be it for that part. Yeah. So just put your rates in, the dollar amount that's taxable, and it actually calculates the amount for you. So that's requirement 1. Requirement 2 says prepare a journal entry to record the employer's payroll taxes for the period. So these are expenses to the employer. And I'm assuming he hasn't paid them yet. So we need to record an expense of $491.40. That's the total of all those taxes. And let's see what they're calling it. Payroll tax expense. Okay, and then I'm going to assume that the other, that we haven't paid it yet, so we owe all those things, so they should be payable. So Medicare, Social Security, federal unemployment and state unemployment. And those should be our credits, so I do want to save. So Social Security $223.20. Medicare. So you can do that every time. $52.20. I think that one was $21.60 for federal unemployment. State unemployment $194.40. All right, so that should be your journal entry. Let's make sure I typed them in right. Like going back and forth, I never can remember what I just saw. But that looks right. So then we're going to do the analyze. Taxes paid by the employee and matched by the employer. So taxes paid by the employer were all this stuff. But I said federal unemployment and state unemployment taxes are only paid by the employer, not the employee. Medicare and Social Security are paid by both the employer and the employee. So both of these are paid by the employee as well. So we're going to add those up, $52.20 and $223.20. So $275.40 was the total for Social Security and Medicare. And that's the total that both parties each pay. So $275.40. That's the amount paid. Oh, it didn't ask for the amount. Well, I did work for nothing. Oh, Social Security and Medicare taxes. Let's try that. That's the two that are paid by both. All right. So it should look like that. Let's look at one more. And this one tricks everybody, so I thought I would look at it specifically. This says certain transactions and procedures related to federal and state unemployment taxes follow for Fancy Nancy LLC. We don't care about all that information. It's just information about their store. It says, assume all wages have been paid and that all quarterly payments have been submitted to the state as required. Payroll information appears below. Federal tax deposits were submitted as follows. When it says federal tax deposit, it's talking about federal unemployment tax. So down here it says, in general journal form, record issuance of check for the balance of federal unemployment tax due. All right, so we've got a chart here that says we've got some total wages, wages paid in excess of $7,000, and then state unemployment tax paid. But this is asking us for federal unemployment tax data, and this chart doesn't say anything about federal unemployment tax. But something we know is that federal, we know the amount of wages paid, which would be the same for federal or state, and the book uses a wage base of $7,000 for federal and state tax. Now, in real life, they're not the same, but this book uses them both $7,000 wage base. So if it's taxable for state unemployment taxes, then it's also taxable for federal unemployment taxes since they're using the same wages and the same wage base. So the amount of dollars that are taxable for federal unemployment tax were $1,688. I'm sorry, that's the tax. Were $57,910. That's what the wages were. $57,910. I'm just going to back up. I'm really messing this up. These are the wages paid in excess of $7,000. These are the ones that are not taxable. So to get the taxable, we have to do $157,213 and take away what's not taxable, which is the $57,910. Well, I'm really getting tongue-tied today. All right, so that gives us the wages that are taxable of $99,303. We've got to know that so that we can calculate the federal unemployment tax. So the amount that's taxable is $99,303, which is this difference in the total and the excess. And in these instructions up here, nowhere does it say what the rate is, but the book is using a rate of 0.6% for federal unemployment tax. So if you take the $99,303 that's taxable and multiply it by 0.6%, you've got total federal unemployment taxes of $595.82. Now I'm going to put that in there just because I want to make a point. Because this is what everybody does. And this is recorded payment. So federal unemployment taxes. Yes, sir. In cash. All right, that's what everybody does, and they get it wrong. and they'll get the accounts right, but the amount's wrong. So this is what I have, as this is the federal unemployment tax. The problem is that's the federal unemployment tax for the year, because we calculated the federal unemployment taxes based on 4 quarters, which is a whole year of taxable wages. So for the whole entire year, we owe $595.82. But up here in the instructions, it says we made some federal tax deposits. So what you have to do is calculate the total federal tax and then subtract out these deposits, because through the year we've paid in some money. We paid in $152. Whoops. $152.40. So we can subtract that. We made a deposit of $344.52, so we can subtract out that from what we owe. And we made a deposit of $73.08. We can subtract that from what we owe. So if you take the total amount you owe for the year and subtract out those 3 payments, you actually get, I get $25.82. So whatever you get should be a fairly small number. I think probably somewhere between $15 and $25. Seems to be what most people get. So let's try that, make sure it's right. Huh, I can't do math. I probably typed in something wrong. Let's see. $595.82, and subtract out each of those 3 deposits. $25.74. I just probably typed in something wrong. Let's try that one. Yay! All right, so take your total federal employment, subtract that, and that deposit, and that's what you owe, and that's what you're going to put down here as your final payment. You'd pay that out. So that's all we're going to go through for Chapter 11. I don't think there's any of these that are really complicated. This one's the one that always seems to give people trouble. But if you get stuck on anything else, feel free to send me an email, and I can take a look at your work and try to point you in the right direction. Hope you have a great week.